Hello and welcome to our section of this amazing virtual model railway event. I'm Justin.
And I'm Sam from Scale Model Scenery. So over the next few minutes, we're just going to discuss what's happened over the last 12 months, big changes within the company. We're going to look at some of our new kits that you can see here, and also we've got a new release that we're also going to show you.
So sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
So quite a lot's happened over the last 12 months at Scale Model Scenery. Can you bring us up to speed in major developments and the move and that sort of thing?
Yeah, well the main thing is, I suppose, we've relocated. A lot's been going on behind the scenes. It's been really hectic, and I know I say every week it's been hectic, but the last 12 months has just been a complete blur. I sat down last night to try and work out what I was going to say today, and thinking about the kits we'd built or we created over the last 12 months, I can't remember any of the work we did before we moved. I've just no idea where we got to, but we've achieved quite a lot of things, I know that. So
that's a new HQ then, so that's the biggest major thing that we've had over the past 12 months. So.
Yeah, the biggest thing we've moved. Everybody that's been following us over the past few years knows how much or for how long I've been banging on about moving down to Cornwall, and we've pulled it off. How we managed to do it, I don't know, but we did it. We're here. We have a nice big workspace. Yeah. It's way bigger than we had before, at least 5 times the size. Looking at it now, I've no idea how we managed in the previous place. It just wasn't possible. But yeah, we've managed to achieve some pretty amazing things, I think, in the last 12 months.
Well, I'm glad that you've moved down, because it's gave me the opportunity within the industry. We've also taken on a few more members of staff since I started in July.
Yeah.
So we're heading in the right direction. We seem to be growing. We're getting more and more kits coming out. We've got a new laser on the go now, so hopefully we can keep supplying. I think on that note we'll perhaps move on to some of the kits.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of our latest releases. We've been really busy since we moved down here in July. Didn't quite realise how many kits we've released, but there's quite a few, and quite a lot of them I've not even got out the drawers, to be honest. I've just picked some of the more popular ones and the ones I quite like myself. Lobster Pots, for example. As we live by the seaside, I couldn't resist modelling these. Ideal for detailing your harbour scenes and quaysides, that kind of thing. We see these most days when we're walking the dog and stuff like that, so I thought, got to have a go at modelling them. Didn't know whether I could pull them off or not because of the fineness of the intricacy of the mesh, but we managed to do it. So they're actually not a bad kit to build. So that's the Lobster Pots. What else have we done recently? These are being released this weekend. They are LX370 chain railings. I mentioned them in a video last week on our own Facebook. Live at 5 or live at 4:45 on Friday, showing these. These are being released this weekend. So that's LX370 and LX371. Dylan, who does quite a lot of design work for us now and also helps with customer service side of things, he's been busy. Hello Lola. He's been busy working on a number of things for us. We did the TPWS grids. We've got 2 different sizes of these. They're proving very popular with modern image modelers and work great with some of the other trackside details that you'll see on some of Sam's dioramas in a minute. We have loads of detailing bits. As you know, we're quite well known for detailing things and little kits that you can just add the finishing touch to your layout. Loads of bits like rivet strips, all that kind of stuff, which work on bridges, water tanks, all those kind of projects. We even found a way to do net curtains. We can print these onto clear acetate now and give a net curtain effect, so you can add those to your buildings from other manufacturers, not just ours. So they're really easy to use. Just trim them to shape, glue them behind your existing windows, or use the glazing sheet to replace existing windows. So that's net curtains. Customer called Steve was asking me, shall I say, for years to do these. Locomotive roster boards. These appear in engine sheds and things like that. We've got one for all of the major regions and a BR version, which is this version. Basically shows, has a list of the engines that are, what's the word? Stored, for want of a better word. There is a name for it, but I can't remember, on shed or whatever you want to call it, where the locos are based, and it will show you what loco is running on a particular day and that kind of thing. So those are ideal for detailing steam sheds. We have
cable drums.
Oh, cable drums, yeah. Cable drums.
I particularly like those. They're
yeah.
great.
cable drums and folding Roadworks barriers, which are on there. They're the type of barriers that you see BT engineers, open reach engineers, gas engineers, that kind of thing, using at Roadworks, and the cable drums are ideal for putting next to them just as a little extra detail. You can also, if you really wished, add some fine fishing line or something onto the cable drums to add a little bit of extra detail. We've expanded our range of ghost signs. These are peel and stick ghost signs. We've got 4 in the range now, with lots more to come. We've got Bass Breweries, Lipton's Tea, Ansell's Beer, and we've also got that one which I've no idea how to pronounce. It could be Vox, it could be Vo, who knows. Please, if you know how to pronounce it, please tell us, because we don't know. We just know how it's spelt. But these are really easy to use, simple peel and stick. Roger asked us the weekend, he was trying to peel up Martin, couldn't, we was fighting with the backing on these. Quick tip, if you bend the corner of these over, very corner, and bend it back again, the backing will just peel off and you can remove it really easy. They stick onto any card building, card or paper building, as long as it's a flat surface, they'll stick. They're completely transparent other than the printing, so whatever texture is behind brick or stone or whatever will show through. What else have we got? Manholes. I've been wanting to do these for years, since we did the printed version. Dylan finally got around to drawing these for me, or I finally got around to asking Dylan to draw these for me this year. So these have been done. These have laser engraved detail on them, so quick coat of dark brown or a similar sort of cast iron kind of paint colour. Cut them out, stick them on your roads, job done. So that's those, that's LX350 manholes.
Do those in a couple of gauges as well, is that right? Doing them in N and the
we do them in N and O. I was amazed we managed to do them in N, but they do work in N.
They do look really good in N.
They're tiny, but they work, so we got those in N. There's a few other things on here that we want to do in N. We will be doing the ghost signs in N very shortly. I've just got to resize them and get them, but they'll work, the idea will work, you've just got to get them done. We will do. What else? A couple of things that Sam will talk about in a minute. Shops. Sam hates these, absolutely hates them. We started off creating what was originally going to be 1 or 2 mix and match shops. We've ended up with what will eventually be a range of about 6 shop fronts and probably 6 buildings that go with them. And at the moment, this is the first variation, but this has 26 choices of different shop types.
That's right, so there's a whole alphabet in the file for me to go through every time we put a kit together.
To be honest, I realised the other day we've actually missed quite a few shops, because I didn't think there was 26 shops, but there's probably another 5 or 6 that we haven't done. We haven't even got a laundrette and things like that. You know.
They're great though, because if you can put them all in a line, and you can build, you know, a complete high street really, all from one range. So absolutely, they are really good. They're just quite hard to manufacture. A lot of work goes into them, making sure they've got all the right signs and stuff. As you can see, all the detail on them have all got their own individual glazing, their own company names on there. The window, you get 2 types of windows as well, so depending if you want to wrap the building first, the windows you put in will be slightly narrower to get in between the wraps. If you want to leave it like this, and maybe you could render it perhaps, we were thinking render it, putting some filler on, then you would use these windows because they fit into a bigger gap because the wrap isn't there. Yep,
absolutely. And the textures that we include some textures with these kits, but the textures that's with them, and we also have a range of, I don't know, 50, 60 other different textures which you can download from the Railway Modelers Club, which is the club that Ian looks after for us. He's been uploading loads more stuff over the last few months. There's lots of containers and textures, 1 or 2 other kits. We put the airfield kits in there and things like that. So Ian's been taking care of all that for us. But yeah, 26 different shops so far, with another 5 different buildings and 5 different variations on the shop fronts, and numerous other things we're going to throw into the mix to make it all.
We've got a bike shop, but it'd be nice to see a BMX shop, or perhaps even a motocross shop. So
absolutely, why not?
I'm adding to the list now, so I'm my own worst enemy.
Why not?
We'll leave it at that.
Why not?
We've got the 368 as well there, haven't we?
Yes.
Which is, this week, was that last week?
Last week. Released that last week. This is the LX368 Locomotive maintenance platform. Looks quite a complex kit, but it's not as bad as it looks, to be honest. It's quite straightforward to build. This is ideal for use in 1960s depots onwards. There's probably still some around to present day in some of the older depots. It's a concrete platform, or concrete effect platform. We've got a weathered paper concrete texture on there with white lining around the edges. Underneath, you've got a 2mm MDF base. We've got holes in the top of each of the legs so you can run pipes through, or pieces of wire effectively, but to simulate pipes and conduit and that kind of thing. These would probably be used, and I'm guessing now, so please correct me if you know more about these than I do. I think, as far as I'm concerned, they are electrical conduit, possibly hydraulic pipes and air and things like that, to give so that whoever's working on the locomotives has everything they need basically to get on and do their job. So it would be that kind of thing. That's my understanding of it, but correct me if I'm wrong. And then at the end you've got a variation on our LX248 platform steps. We've modified them slightly to fit with this kit. These have even got, you can see that fine tread plate detail on all the steps as well, so it's engraved on there. These aren't as bad to build as they look. You glue the sides into the end of the maintenance platform, then put each of the treads in one at a time. Little drop of glue underneath on each of the treads, job done. Pretty straightforward, and then you add the railings in. So that's the LX368. Nice versatile kit. We've got a second version of this which has different feet on the bottom, and then we have a steel version as well with an engraved tread plate top on it. Okay, so that's me about done. I think that's the LX368, and I think I've covered everything else I wanted to cover. I'm going to hand over to Sam now, who's going to talk to you about some of his amazing dioramas he's been building.
Thank you. Right, so first of all then, we'll just have a look at some of the new kits on here, but we've also got some of the classics on here as well. We'll move on to those in a bit. So first of all, we'll start with the skate park. This was a bit of a crazy idea of mine really, I suppose, wasn't it? Just to see if we could do it.
Yeah.
So we put a kit together. As you can see, we've just tried to showcase some of our existing kits, so the 006, the LX55 at the back. We've got some of our 3D printing stuff on here as well. We decided we liked it, and it was very prototypical for anything sort of from the 2000 onwards. There's a lot of skate parks, you know, it's in waste ground on sidings or terminus stations. You might see skate parks there. So we figured it might be something different to your allotments or your low relief shops, something like that. We just thought if you wanted to be different, and we tried to be prototypical, that's what we come up with. Just to give you a bit of an idea of what you could get on your layout. As you can see, the track on the back. So we simplified the kit to make it KX58, and as you can see, we've gone with a metal wrap for this one, which is a little bit more modern, but we felt that it was just a little bit cleaner than the concrete. This kit also comes with a graffiti wrap, because I think that was one of the first things we got in the feedback, wasn't it? A lot of people were saying really it needs graffiti on it, because unfortunately they are covered in graffiti, aren't they? So you do get a choice with this. You can put this clean wrap on, or you can put the graffiti wrap on, or you can probably mix and match them if you cut them and chop them up. You can just put some certain tags on there if you like. So that's the first kit that I've spoke about. So the next kits, we've probably got the Anderson shouters. We'll talk about these. These are quite... How did these come about again? Can you remind me?
My harebrained idea for making corrugated iron effect laserboard sheets.
That was right, wasn't it? So we've got a little roller together, haven't we? And we've successfully managed to achieve that, as you can see. So we thought we'd do a diorama just to try and showcase the kits really, so you can imagine what they would look like once they're on your layout. Obviously the Anderson shouter, to be more prototypical, would be covered in soil, because this isn't going to protect you much from German bombers as it is. But the idea is just so you can see the kit. We've also got the tools on here that Justin briefly mentioned earlier, the LX361. So we've just painted some up and we've put them on this diorama. Again, just to give you an idea of what you can do with them. We've also got the railway sleepers on here that we've used as little retainers. And we've also got the push bikes we do, which is the LX041. And talking about push bikes, we do the BMXs as well, which you can see here on the skate park.
Don't ask me what the kit number is, because I can't remember.
No, I'm not sure what the kit number is, but we do BMX. If you search BMXs on our website, I'm sure you'll come across some. So we'll talk about the barn next as well. So this has been a very successful kit really, hasn't it? A lot of people have enjoyed this.
That's the first influence you had over what we did
that's
here
correct.
at ScaleModelScenery.
That's correct, isn't it? So I'm not really sure how this came about. I suppose it's more down to my own modelling and my own layout, Peaks 47, which is based in the Peak District, and these are very common sight in Derbyshire and around the Peak District. So when I went up to visit the place to get some inspiration, I figured I had to have one of these barns on my layout, so I had to go at scratch building one. and it got quite a good response, didn't it? And a few people said, do you think work could put a kit together? And thought, hey, you know what, we'll have a go, won't we? Happens, Why not? We're always up for a challenge, aren't we? Yeah. So we quickly knocked this up as this was the second prototype, I think, now, wasn't it?
Yeah, the second one now, yeah.
So we just went a little bit wider to give it a bit more of a squat look, which we figured just seemed to be a bit more prototypical. Justin's made a fantastic job as the wrap, if you want to have a closer look at it. And this was just taken from the rail over road bridge just down the road, wasn't it?
Yeah, just
so on the way home, it was just literally take a couple of pictures with a mobile, and then you did your thing, didn't you, with the airbrushing and
photoshopping and
joining them, and
for an hour or two. Yeah.
Hey presto, there came KX057. So you can have this so the barn is the tiles are missing, so it's really derelict, or you can go with a pristine style. I guess this is sort of in between the two, really, isn't it? Yeah. I quite like them when they're totally derelict and you've got the trees coming out the top of them and they're really run down. So that's a great kit, really like that one. So moving on to the diorama quickly. This is the most recent diorama that we've done, and again, this is just to try and showcase some of our kits that we've currently got up for sale. Some of them on here, like I was saying earlier, are the classics. So we've got the Alex 035, the cable trunking. This does really well. We make this week in, week out, don't we? It's a great kit. I was a little bit frightened putting that one together to begin with. It looked quite daunting, but actually it's a really easy kit to put together. And if you just work methodically, you can make some good runs of this quite quickly over a course of an evening. Yeah. So we've also got the catch pits on here. These sell quite well as well. I've added some more modern image stuff on here, and then obviously we've got the Alex 006, which is the same which is on the skate park, and we've got the Alex 001, which is the 5-bar gate that goes with it.
Complete with baler twine holding the gate shut.
That's correct, and that is
incredibly prototypical.
That's just a little bit of fishing braid. It's not fishing line, it's just the braid, and I've just painted it orange. Yeah. And it just finishes off nicely. Yeah. So you can see that build on our YouTube channel, and that's the idea really of these dioramas. We're going to film them, give you a bit of an idea of how to put them together, a little bit of a tutorial. I'm sure you guys can make a much better job of this, but just gives you a bit of inspiration, a bit of idea of what the kits actually look like when they're on the board. Yeah.
You're planning a new one as well, aren't you?
Yes, I'm planning a new diorama here, which our new release, which I'm about to show you, will go on. So here we go. Ta-da! Here is our new release, which is KX059, is that right? Yeah. And as you can see, it's a humpback bridge. This again has got the textured wrap on it, and the inspiration from this, I believe, is quite locally. Do you want to just tell us about that?
It's a bridge we walk over every morning when we go and walk Lola at Pentuin. It's based on I guess, fairly standard humpback bridge design, certainly popular down here anyway, but they're all over the place. Derbyshire, Dartmoor, where else begins with D? All over the place they are. They're probably in the Scottish Islands as well. It's a standard stone bridge, pretty, so I use the word standard again, but it's a common design, I would have said. What we've done is, this is actually made from MDF. All of this is made from MDF, wrapped in paper. And it's, I'll say incredibly simple, but it is really, really simple. This took me less than an hour to build, and that was with photographing it ready for writing the instructions. So it's, for an experienced modeler, it's probably 45 minutes. I would have said to build it at the most. It's a kit
really, you can build sort of after tea in the evening, which is great.
It's really straightforward. It's really easy to achieve these curves. They're built into the kit. When you assemble it, you'll see just how we've done it. It allows you to get the curved bed, or road bed, on the bridge. You've got the curved sides as well, if you can just about see that there. So you've got a nicely shaped bridge, which will work on any layout that's got a country lane or a little bit of a rural scene. The nice thing, we were discussing this morning, this will work with anything from the turn of the last century, right, the last one,
right up to the
1901 onwards, or 1900 onwards, right up to present day. Because say we still walk over one of these every single day.
I really like the coping on it. I think we've done a really good job of that coping.
I must admit that's turned out way better than I thought it would.
Which is the sandstone coping, is that right, on the LX354, but instead we've just ran it on card instead of laser board.
Which gives it a more of a sootier, much more weathered effect. I mean, that's straight out the packet. I haven't done anything to that to finish it, and I think that looks fairly just like the ones down the road, really.
The textured wrap road looks particularly good as well. I was really impressed with that, how good that's came out just as a wrap. I really, really like this kit. I like it more than the barn. This is probably, for me, this is my favourite kit in the range. I really, really like it. So
Yeah.
That takes me on to the next YouTube video. We're going to do a little diorama that's going to incorporate mainly this as the centerpiece, but we're going to put a few more kits on there just to showcase them really. So I've drawn a plan so far, thought I'd just show it you now. These are the kits that we are planning on putting on. So we've got the AX006, which is our red and white warning tape.
Yep.
I'm going to leave it at that so that you can have a think about where I'm planning on using that. We possibly might put the KX006 on it, which is a Victorian wall. We've got the Alex002, which is the different style 5-bar gate. And you're going to use the Alex006 as well. And also we're going to use AX106. So for those of you that don't know that, it's the bright orange cable trunk and it runs under the lines. There isn't going to be any rails on this, so I'll leave that one with you.
It's not modern image either.
Have a bit of a guess of what you think we may be doing with that. The bridge will go in the centre. We'll probably have a go at doing some water scene on it as well. So that will be up, all being well, on the YouTube channel in, well, whenever Justin lets me just play modelling really. So maybe a month.
Over the next
6 weeks.
Over the next 6 weeks, definitely. Yeah, we've got a lot going on here over the next week or two.
So it'll be something like that will be hopefully the final finish with some static grass on there.
Very 3D and very dynamic. I think it'll look pretty smart. So yeah, so that's the KX59. That's our big release for this weekend with the for the show weekend. That's available to order now on the website. So KX59-00. I think it will work on quite a lot of your layouts, and there's a lot of you building sort of rural scenes and that kind of thing, so I think it'll be quite popular. Hopefully, anyway, fingers crossed. But we've enjoyed building it, that's the main thing. I've enjoyed designing it. Sam's
been good fun, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Just watching it develop.
Yeah, really.
Seem to throw ideas off each other, and things tend to happen almost by mistake, don't they? These coping, we wasn't sure how to do the coping stones.
No, I put flat ones on, and management didn't like them. You weren't too keen, and so we thought we had to come up with something better. And then Sam had a brainwave. Why don't we do the sandstone ones? And it's worked a treat.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's that. So that's pretty much everything, I think, isn't it, for today?
It's what we've got coming out at the minute with what we've got coming up on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. That's about it. And so thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the show. Cheers.
Cheers.